there's a question in the Tell Me You Love Me Without Telling Me You Love Me deck that actually took me a little while to answer. And I was thinking, I need to have answers to my own questions. And one of the questions is, what is a lesson you've had to learn the hard way? And there are so many. I've had to learn the hard way. One of them is a lesson of self-respect. For many years, I did not know into my 30s, and I'm still in my 30s, how to respect myself without making other people's respect of me present before the respect for myself. Another thing I had to learn the hard way was a lesson of self-love, and self-respect flows into self-love. Self-love is not this indulgent thing. I remember being at church and one of the women asked me, what do you think about self-love movement? And I was sharing some of my opinions on it and how there's some really good elements to it. Everything has to be managed, because when it becomes self-indulgent, you're the most important one. You've got to be first. Everything's about you. Everything must respond to you, and you're the center of everything. That's when it's like, okay, come on, that's something else, okay? So, another lesson I've had to learn the hard way is to use my voice. And you may be thinking, Ashley, how is that so? You make all these videos, you still struggle with using your voice? Yes, still struggle at times. But today I had another level of breakthrough. And it feels so good to know that I'm using my voice for the right purpose. When we're kids, we are told to be quiet and all of these things so the adults around us can be more comfortable. And as I do the work with kids, I remember so much of, what I experience when I'm working with them. And I get to improve upon what I was taught from the adults in my life and expand upon it. And what I want to say to you as the adult watching this video, maybe you're a young person watching this video, but what I want to say is, just because you can suppress your fears does not mean you are in control of them. Gotta say it again. Just because you can suppress your fears does not mean that you're in control of them. I'm walking on the side of the road here, so you are not in control just because you can hold everything down under the water. We have a phrase culturally, hold it down. Yeah, but no. No. You gotta let that out, because what happens is what is unaddressed becomes something that is repeated. I got that shadow. Okay. It becomes repeated. Gotta switch arms. So we want to make sure that we are addressing those things so that we don't repeat them. You've heard me say this in different ways. As we do the work of liberation, not recreating the conditions for oppression. Now, if I look at the law of polarity says that when one thing is created, its opposite is created in that moment. So you may create the conditions for it, not knowing, or you, just by doing a good thing, will create. And this is true. By us doing good things, we create the disdain for good. Because everybody doesn't want to do good. So, I had to learn how to use my voice, and I had to learn to speak the truth. We teach children to be dishonest. We teach them to be dishonest because we're not comfortable with the truth. And if you're an adult who's in control of their emotions by suppressing them, you're not in control. What's in control of you are the consequences are the interpretations of what happens when you let those emotions out. And if you don't allow a child to be honest with you about something, you will require them to be silent. Let's do our best every day, especially as we move into the new year. Let's do our best to be honest, to be loving, to be kind. Those are my top 3s. To be loving, kind, and true. You know, for many years I was as kind as I could be with the information that I had, the experiences that I had, but still had a lot of work to do in the honesty department. But it was because I was taught to be quiet. And when you're being taught to be quiet, to keep the adults safe from harm, from embarrassment, from shame, from reputation is different from what they're trying to build up, you cannot be honest. So, what are the takeaways? What are the takeaways? We all have lessons that we learn the hard way. If you can bring to your awareness the things you've had to learn the hard way, you'll have more grace as you watch other people learn their lessons. You won't need to give it to them. Just watch them and how life works out for them. Okay? Pray for them in the process. The other thing is, don't suppress. Suppression of emotions is not a sign of control. It's a sign of fear. And when you can speak the truth, you are actually free from what you interpret to be consequences for speaking the truth. I bless you. I love you. And all of that, guess what? All of that came from one question from my card deck. Tell me you love me without telling me you love me. You got to get that deck. It's got some really good questions. See you again soon.